Ovigwe Eguegu is a policy analyst at Development Reimagined, and he joins us now from Ankara. Really good to have you back with us, Ovigwe. Firstly, it seems that the military junta in Niger really is doubling down on its overthrow of the elected president by levelling these charges of treason against him. Do you believe then this is a sign that the diplomatic efforts by ECOWAS, the AU and others have essentially failed to get them to return to democracy?
Well, actually, I would say we're already seeing the beginning of the political process that will lead to eventually to lead to a political solution. And in this process, the junta, of course, is aware that it needs leverage. President Bazoum is a very important leverage, if not the most important. You might recall that one of the conditionalities for ECOWAS engagement was that Bazoum would be reinstated. And I think from that perspective, that would be very, very difficult, because then why did you have the coup in the first place? So now they formed the government. They are playing political games now, and Bazoum just happens to be one of the cards in their hands.
Okay, and does this reflect badly on the efforts from the organisations like the AU and ECOWAS? Do you believe it's exposed a weakness, given that we are several weeks into this coup and really the junta shows no sign of giving up?
Well, if you follow the process, I think ECOWAS has really exposed itself as a bloc that doesn't really understand the dynamics. Neither did he understand the motivation or the motives of the junta, because from the very beginning he gave that deadline, ultimatum of 1 week, and the junta essentially called the ECOWAS's bluff. We didn't see the invasion, thankfully, because that would have been a disaster. However, now it has returned to some form of like an ambivalence, where it is playing both and giving mixed statements. We're probably going to invade, but we want to follow diplomatic solution. So essentially, ECOWAS is stuck, and it now has to engage with the junta from a less stronger position. And if you notice, that is why the junta finds it very easy to ignore its mediators, rather choosing to speak to the religious mediators.
And what about the people of Niger? Because in the early days of the coup, we did see pictures of many people celebrating the fact that this takeover had occurred. They filled a stadium, I remember, in the early days of the overthrow of this government. Do you think most Nigerians are backing the military junta at this point?
Well, yes. When there was the concern and the fear was at really heightened level that there will be a military intervention, part of the strategy and the efforts to disincentivize that was to really show there is popular support, and we saw a lot of that last week and even immediately after the coup. But from this point on now, the emphasis has to be now on the political process and diplomatic engagement. That happens mostly indoors, between the leadership, and the formation of the transitional government allows the junta to not necessarily step back a bit, but at least tone down the rhetoric and popular support. If they seem to be losing grip, I think it's very possible that they might call on the people to take to the streets again to show that they are still popular. Meanwhile, economic pressures may already be, people may be feeling the pinch of the economic pressures and sanctions, and that obviously may have changed some people's minds.
Okay, Ovigwe Eguegu, we'll have to leave it there, but great to get your analysis as always. Thank you.